U.S. President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held talks over the phone yesterday. They discussed a possible ceasefire in Gaza and a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. The talks come ahead of Israel's potential offensive in southern Gaza's Rafah city. That is where most of Gaza's population is currently taking shelter. Biden reportedly reiterated his clear position on Israel's Rafah assault. The U.S. seeks a credible humanitarian plan before Israel launches its military operations in Rafah city. The long-stalled Israel-Hamas truce talks seem to be taking a positive turn. The group has reportedly said that Hamas has reportedly said that it has no major issues with the latest Israeli proposal. The truce deal between the two will enable a ceasefire and secure the release of Israelis being held hostage. A Hamas delegation will deliver the group's response in Cairo, Egypt's capital, today. Israel has also been invited to the Egypt-mediated talks. If Israel accepts the invitation, it could be the first face-to-face interaction with Hamas. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Saudi Arabia. During his two-day visit, Blinken will discuss the ongoing Gaza ceasefire efforts with Saudi officials. Reports suggest he will also discuss a pathway to an independent Palestinian state with security guarantees for Israel. Amid the ongoing ceasefire talks, large plumes of smoke were seen above Gaza. This was from explosions in the Strip. The smoke could be seen from southern Israel. Gazan health authorities claim that more than 34,000 Palestinians have been killed in the region so far. Pro-Palestine protests in American universities show no sign of slowing down. Skirmishes were reported between pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian demonstrators at the University of California. The scuffle broke out after some demonstrators broke through a barrier meant to separate the two factions. Eventually, campus police armed with batons had to separate the sparring groups. Meanwhile, Gazans put up messages to thank the American students protesting on their behalf. The displaced people of Gaza have written messages on their tents. They are thanking the pro-Palestinian groups who are asking colleges to cut financial ties with Israel. France has also joined efforts to end the war in West Asia. French Foreign Minister Stéphane Séjourné arrived in Lebanon for diplomatic attempts to broker a de-escalation at the Lebanon-Israel border. The Iran-backed Hezbollah group is based in Lebanon and has exchanged near-daily cross-border strikes with Israel. The efforts focus on moving Hezbollah several kilometers away from the Israel-Lebanon border. They also call for Israeli forces to withdraw from disputed points along the border. Iraq's parliament has passed a law imposing heavy prison sentences on people from the LGBTQ+ community. Iraq did not previously have a law that explicitly criminalized people from the community. The law passed on Saturday with little notice and an amendment to the country's existing anti-prostitution law. It imposes a sentence of 10 to 15 years for same-sex relations. The law allows a prison term of 1 to 3 years for people who undergo or perform gender transition surgeries as well. It also bans any organization that promotes sexual deviance. Violators may get a sentence of between 7 years and a fine of about $7,600. China has put its first 12,000 cubic meter liquefied natural gas transport refueling vessel into service. The vessel has a deck that's bigger than a standard football pitch, and it can meet the needs of 480,000 households that rely on natural gas for a month. The global LNG bunkering market demand is expected to reach 30 to 45 million tons by 2030. Currently, out of the 9 LNG bunkering vessels being constructed across the globe, 8 are being designed and built in China. Thousands of protesters took to the streets of Georgia's capital, Tbilisi. The protesters opposed a contentious new foreign agents bill. The second reading of the bill will take place on Tuesday in Georgia's parliament. Under the bill, companies getting more than 20% of their funding from abroad will have to declare themselves foreign agents. Violators may face fines. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has announced that he will not step down. The announcement comes after thousands of Socialist Party supporters gathered in the streets of Madrid, calling on Sanchez to stay on. The rally followed the Spanish PM's remarks, saying that he might quit the premiership. Sanchez had said he would step back for a few days to decide whether he wants to continue leading the government after a corruption probe was launched into his wife's private dealings. He denies the corruption allegations against his wife. In Cambodia, an explosion at a military camp killed 20 soldiers. Cambodia's defense minister and deputy prime minister paid their final respects to the soldiers and their grieving relatives. The soldiers were cremated in a mass coffin outside a crematorium in Kampong Speu province. In climate news, environment ministers from the G7 countries are meeting in the city of Turin in Italy. This is for talks on climate change. The discussions will revolve around ending the use of fossil fuels. This comes after reports state that G7 countries are falling far short of their targets. Meanwhile, dozens of climate protesters took to the streets of Turin yesterday. They blocked roads and even burned images of the G7 leaders. The demonstrators say that the G7 leaders are failing to meet their climate needs. Central parts of the U.S. were hit by dozens of tornadoes over the weekend. At least 78 tornadoes were reported in the states of Nebraska and Iowa. Meanwhile, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri experienced 35 tornadoes. At least 5 people have died due to the twisters. A deadly tornado hit the Chinese city of Guangzhou over the weekend as well. The tornado killed at least 5 people and injured nearly 33 others. According to reports, at least 140 factories were damaged by the strong wind and heavy rain that accompanied the tornado. Rescuers were sent out to help people in need. The Philippines is under a severe heat spell. In some regions, the temperatures are predicted to touch at least 37 degrees Celsius. Thousands of schools have suspended classes due to the increasing heat. Experts claim that the heat waves are being exacerbated by climate change. India is bracing for scorching temperatures this year. Over 150 weather stations recorded temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. People were seen flocking to beaches and parks to cool themselves down. This is due to the El Niño weather phenomenon, and India is likely to witness more heat waves this year. Amid sweltering weather in Bangladesh, schools have reopened. This comes after the 72-hour heat alert in the country ended. Temperatures touched 39 degrees Celsius along with severe humidity. If the heat wave persists, some schools may turn to online classes. Dozens of people have gone missing after a boat capsized in Kenya. This happened when people were trying to cross the Tana River amid heavy floods. In a separate incident, a truck full of people was swept away by raging floodwaters. 8 bodies were retrieved from a river in Makueni County. Devastating rainfall since the middle of March has claimed the lives of at least 70 people so far in Kenya. On to business and tech news. Japan's currency, the yen, has dropped below 160 against the US dollar for the first time in over 3 decades. Today, the yen fell by as much as 1.2% against the dollar to touch 160.17. The Japanese currency has been tumbling since last month. This is after Japan's central bank raised interest rates for the first time since 2007. Tesla CEO Elon Musk made an unannounced visit to China yesterday. He met with China's Premier Li Qiang. Musk reportedly discussed the rollout of Tesla's self-driving software in China. The country is Tesla's second largest market after the US. However, Tesla's self-driving software hasn't been introduced in China so far. South Korea's Hyundai Motors and its sister firm Kia have signed an agreement with China's tech giant Baidu. Under the deal, the car makers and Baidu will jointly work to develop car technologies like self-driving software. Hyundai and Kia will also use Baidu's cloud computing technology. In the UAE, Dubai has started the construction of a new airport terminal. The airport is expected to be the world's largest, with the capacity to handle 260 million passengers per year. Construction is expected to cost about $35 billion. The airport will include 400 terminal gates and 5 parallel runways. The American investment firm Blackstone is reportedly planning to submit a new bid for British music rights company Hipgnosis Songs Fund. Hipgnosis owns the music rights to artists like Shakira, Neil Young and the Chainsmokers. Blackstone is competing with the American music company Concord to take over Hipgnosis. So far, both Blackstone and Concord have made $1.5 billion offers to buy Hipgnosis. The Australian casino operator Crown Resorts has announced plans to lay off over 1,000 employees. The job cuts will impact workers in Melbourne, Perth and Sydney. Crown Resorts has reportedly been facing challenges due to reduced foreign tourism and regulatory obligations. Last year, the firm was fined over $290 million for breaking anti-money laundering laws in Australia. The Danish shipping company AP Moller & Maersk has announced plans to invest $600 million in Nigeria. The investment was announced during a meeting between Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu and Maersk's chairman Robert Maersk Ugler. The investment will be used to expand Nigeria's seaport infrastructure. Nigeria plans to revamp its ports to accommodate bigger ships.Reinhold Geiger, the owner of French skincare firm L'Occitane, is reportedly close to a deal to completely take over the firm. He plans to take over and delist it from the stock market. L'Occitane is listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Geiger already owns a 70% stake in L'Occitane. He's now planning to buy out the rest of the shares. The deal is expected to be worth around $7 billion. France's government has proposed taking over part of the information technology firm Atos. France's finance minister Bruno Le Maire has said that Atos is a strategically important company for the country. Atos provides data management and cybersecurity services. It's been facing financial challenges due to high debt. An Austrian privacy group has filed a complaint against OpenAI's artificial intelligence chatbot ChatGPT. The privacy group is called None of Your Business, or NOYB. It said that ChatGPT often provides incorrect information about public figures. ChatGPT gets information like birthdays wrong and then refuses to rectify its mistakes. None of Your Business claims that this is a violation of the European Union's rules about personal data related to individuals. Moving to sports, we start with cricket and the Indian Premier League. Chennai Super Kings beat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 78 runs yesterday. CSK went out to bat first and posted 212 in their innings. Hyderabad were all out in 18.5 overs for an underwhelming 134. Pacer Tushar Deshpande decimated Hyderabad's batters by scalping 4 wickets. Meanwhile, in the second IPL match yesterday, Royal Challengers Bengaluru secured a 9-wicket win over Gujarat Titans. RCB won the toss and opted to bowl first. Gujarat posted an impressive 200 runs during their innings, but RCB chased down their target in just 16 overs. Will Jack smashed a century for Bengaluru and Virat Kohli contributed with 70 runs during the chase. New Zealand have named their T20 World Cup squad. The 15-member team will be captained by Kane Williamson. Other notable names in the squad are Lockie Ferguson, Trent Bolt, Devon Conway and Daryl Mitchell. New Zealand's first match at the T20 World Cup is against Afghanistan on June 7th. In football, defending champions Manchester City beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 in the English Premier League yesterday. Josko Guardiola's header in the 32nd minute gave City the lead. Erling Haaland doubled it in the second half. Manchester City are now second in the Premier League, just 1 point behind Arsenal, but with a game in hand. Meanwhile, Arsenal beat their rivals Tottenham Hotspur 3-2 yesterday. Arsenal put up a brilliant display in the first half. They first reaped the benefit of an own goal scored by their opponents. Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz then ensured that the Gunners had a 3-0 lead before half-time. Tottenham tried to salvage the game after the break. Christian Romero and Son Heung-min gave Arsenal a brief scare, but the Gunners held on to take all 3 points. Bournemouth saw off Brighton 3-0 in the Premier League. Marco Senesi's header put Bournemouth in the lead within the first 15 minutes of play. Another header by Enes Unai doubled the lead in the second half. Justin Kluivert added a third in the 87th minute to put the result beyond doubt. In tennis, men's world number 3 Carlos Alcaraz is through to the round of 16 at the Madrid Open. The Spaniard won 6-3, 6-3 against Brazil's Sabot Wild. The win extends Alcaraz's impressive winning streak at the Madrid Open. Alcaraz won the tournament in both 2022 and 2023. Meanwhile, former world number 1 Rafael Nadal entered the round of 32 at the Madrid Open. He eliminated Australia's Alex de Minaur 7-6, 6-3 in a grueling match that lasted over 2 hours. The victory marked Nadal's redemption after his loss to the Australian in the Barcelona Open earlier this month. Nadal will next face Argentina's Pedro. In athletics, reigning world 100 and 200 meter champion Noah Lyles from the US won the 100-meter race at the Bermuda Grand Prix Athletics meet. He clocked a time of 9.96 seconds in the race. The result is a boost for Lyles ahead of the Paris Olympics, where he could potentially be going for 4 podium places, 2 individual short sprints and 2 relay events. In badminton, defending champions India have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Thomas Cup tournament. They defeated England 5-0 in a Group C encounter earlier today. Top Indian shuttlers like H.S. Pranoy, Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty contributed to India's victory. The Thomas Cup is an annual men's badminton championship where countries compete against each other. In entertainment news, Nicole Kidman has been honored with the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award. She's the first Australian actor who's been given this honor. Kidman received the award from American actress Meryl Streep in Hollywood City. The previous winners of the awards are Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. Meanwhile, the BAFTA TV Craft Awards were handed out in London. Here are the highlights. House of the Dragon and This Is Going to Hurt won the most number of honors at the ceremony. The Witcher won the award for special visual and graphic effects. Netflix original Broken Bones took home the award for photography and lighting in the fiction category. The Cannes Film Festival has announced the jury for its for 2024. The list includes names like Lily Gladstone, Eva Green and Omar Sy. This year, the jury's president is Barbie's director, Greta Gerwig. The 77th Cannes Film Festival will start from the 14th of May. Challengers has taken the top spot at the North American box office. The film has collected at least $15 million in its opening weekend. This brings the film's total estimated global earnings to nearly $25 million. The tennis-based romance drama film was released on the 26th of April. Meanwhile, Timothée Chalamet's Dune Part 2 has collected at least $700 million at the box office. This is now followed by the $500 million collection of Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Dune Part 2 released on the 1st of March, while Godzilla x Kong released on the 29th of March. Indian singer Diljit Dosanjh has created history with his music in Canada. He reportedly sold out the largest Punjabi show outside India. At least 50,000 people attended his concert in Vancouver, which is part of the Dilluminati tour. The singer treated his fans with songs like Goat, Lover and Kinni Kinni. Singer Ariana Grande teased her upcoming single through black and white footage. She took to Instagram to share the behind-the-scenes footage of her upcoming song. Ariana Grande is calling her upcoming single Eternal Sunshine. She stated that she's working diligently to deliver another hit. The rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has been sued by his former security guard for wrongful termination and discrimination against black employees. The lawsuit alleges that Ye screamed and berated black employees working for him. Ye even asked the security guard to cut his dreadlocks. Actor Sharon Stone has been sued over a car crash. She faces a lawsuit seeking $35,000 in damages. Sharon Stone allegedly caused a minor car collision in 2023. She's been accused of driving at high speeds that resulted in a crash that injured a woman. The injured woman has lodged a complaint seeking compensatory damages. Netflix has set a release date for its animated series Blood of Zeus Season 2. The show will premiere on the 9th of May this year. The second season of the show will revolve around power struggles and loss. The show's first season was released back in 2020.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.